Hey guys, what's happening? Today is vlog number 29. That means technically I only have one to go tomorrow. And then I've completed my challenge of 30 days of vlogs. And I just want to thank all of you for participating and getting involved in the conversation. And today I wanted to talk about what I feel is, so it's like you have the left and the right fighting, right? But then you have people that are, waking up to information and seeking truth that are also fighting. And I feel like that has a lot to do with, people tend to think like once they learn something that they're right about it, and then they get to a certain point and they don't want to move from that position. And I get that. I mean, I get like that sometimes a little bit too on certain things where I've gone down rabbit holes and done a lot of research and realized that, it wasn't what we were told. And so I kind of like stay on that, but I'm still open to changing my position based on new information. And I think that that's something that we have to be able to do at our core is move when we get new information. But there's this big thing about not being able to question things. Like, you are not allowed to question narratives at all. If you question a narrative, you're marginalized, you're called names, some people lose their jobs. I mean, people that were questioning C-19, like they lost their livelihoods, they lost their jobs, their reputations were ruined. And some of these were world-renowned doctors and physicians and things like that. And it got really dangerous. And, I think back to when, September, the buildings, people just wanted answers because of their family members. Their family members perished in that, and they just wanted answers. And they were asking questions. And then when the commission was started, none of their questions were answered. Bush and Cheney both refused to testify separately, and they refused to be under oath. So there was no transparency. And it's like, if there wasn't something else going on, why would you refuse to be transparent? Like, the only reason you would refuse to be transparent is if there was something to hide. So what are these families to think? What are we to think when they do things like that? When all of these things happen, like they move the stuff out of the site so nobody could investigate it. And another crazy thing that I found out is like they spent more money investigating the Monica Lewinsky scandal than they did on that that operation, we'll call it. And that's insane to me. And so all of the people that question that, like, you're called names and everything. And then if you question gender, you're a transphobe. If you question C-19, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're crazy. And it's just like we're more and more being taught that it's not okay to question, that if the government does something or they say something, it's the law. If the news media is reporting it, it's the law. And you have people that back that up, because you do still have people that watch mainstream media. I don't know why, but you do still have them. And so that adds to, them fighting with those of us that don't, and those of us that are out there actually seeking the truth and going down the right rabbit holes and figuring out what's going on. And this is a very dangerous thing. Like, this is something that is killing America, in my opinion. It's killing dialogue, and the only way you get to answers is to have dialogue, to have conversations. And that's why this channel is so important to me, that we have conversations around a whole slew of topics. Now, right now, I know I'm kind of on a moon landing kick, just going through that, because it's kind of fun to go down some rabbit holes, and seek information. There's still things that don't make sense to me that I'm looking into, but like the video where I'm talking about it, YouTube puts a little disclaimer underneath the video saying, this is what happened. And they're using Wikipedia. And those of you that know Dr. Malone know that Wikipedia is not a credible source. During C-19, they were using the WHO. They were using the CDC. And we know now that they were changing things and they weren't credible. And so we're being pushed into this world where even like if you do a search on Google, for instance, It used to be like if you did a search on Google for a specific thing, you could find a lot of information. But now, because of how Google works, they push down all the information that they don't want you to see. Now they can say, oh no, it's still there, but it might be on like page 3,000 of your search. And so they're basically forcing you to think that that is the truth. And most people will buy it because why wouldn't they? They go do a Google search, they get the information, it seems to be from credible sources, and they move on. But the other day, for instance, I was looking for, everybody remembers when Joe Biden said, $2,000 checks will go out next week if you, elect Warnock and whoever that other guy was and him into the presidency. $2,000 checks will go out next week. Go try to find that video on YouTube now. Go try and find it because it became a big, big, what's the word I'm thinking of? Controversy. And a lot of people were saying, no, he never said that. And I could always go to the video, get the video, send it to him, say, here's right where he said it. But you can't find it. They scrub history. They scrub the real information and force down the propaganda. They raise the propaganda up. And so now, like if you do a search on Google, the first thing you get is an AI generated response that tells you a brief synopsis. And Google has even said that they are going to fight misinformation, fight disinformation, and inoculate you like a jab, inoculate you with the truth. And so they're constantly pushing the truth down, pushing it down, and bringing up propaganda. And it's a concerted effort. There's not a company that I know of that has control over anything like social media, the searches that we go on, unless you're using like a third-party search. But even like DuckDuckGo, those are just Google results. And everybody's like, use Brave browser, use DuckDuckGo. No, those are compromised as well. You're just getting Google's search results. You're not getting anything different. So, it's getting harder and harder. As somebody who likes to research and likes to go down rabbit holes to find truth, I'm having to look for more alternative sources to do that. And it's scary because eventually with AI, they're going to be able to completely push the truth out of reach for everybody, including those of us that want to research it. Now, hopefully they don't start blocking some of these third-party sources, but I'm sure that if they gain popularity, that's exactly what they would do. You look at something like Parler, the Parler app that came out. All of this information was going out that all of these things were being, like people were planning attacks and everything on the Parler app, and it was just this really bad place and these bad things were happening. There was no truth to that whatsoever. The percentage was so low. But you have that stuff happening on Twitter as well. You have Black Lives Matter coordinating rallies and things that were doing damage. You have Antifa that was using Twitter to rally and get people at events and stuff like that, and they were saying violent things. But the minute you try to get people to, a Trump rally or something like that, well, those are a bunch of racist white supremacists, and they deboosted that and would remove that content. So it's getting harder and harder to find information that leads us to truth. And so as somebody that's constantly searching, like, I don't even know what to do, because all of these companies are now starting to use AI a lot more. They're able to actually get context in things that we even say in our video. Like I'm talking in this video and Google knows and YouTube knows every single word I'm saying and can even know the context. So that's scary to me. I mean, I already had one video taken down and all I said was I said a fact, an actual fact that is something that I have witnessed, and it does not go against their guidelines, but they said it did. Although if reading their own guidelines, it did not, because it was a personal story and it was the truth. But yet they still said, and even after appeal said, nope, it goes against our guidelines, the video's down. And I had no choice. And I think that was vlog number 15 or something, or 14. I can't remember what number that was, but it got taken down. It might have been one of the earlier ones, like 5 or something. But anyway, that doesn't matter. So what do we do? how do we continue to search for the truth if they're going to keep hiding it for us? Because the thing is, like, what I was getting at originally was there's no transparency in our government. There's no transparency whatsoever. We can't even get the JFK docs, and everything that you get about C-19, about JFK, about moon stuff, all of this stuff, it all comes, but it's redacted. You know, in my opinion, redacted documents need to be illegal. They say it's to protect security. Whose security? The establishment. It's to protect the establishment, and all it is. Fauci's emails being redacted, like all of this stuff being redacted is just a way to cover up, because if you're being honest and there's nothing to hide, then you shouldn't have to redact it. And if you redact it, that's just like an open door for us, truth seekers, to be like, yeah, something is not right. You are lying, you are hiding something, because they are literally lying and hiding something. And what are they hiding? What part of the NIH emails is a national security threat? Nothing. All it is it just paints somebody guilty. There's more information there than they want us to know, because it would completely destroy their narrative. It would completely destroy the lies that we've been told for years. And that's how it is with everything. We don't have a single ounce of transparency from our government. And I don't even know how we get it. You know, the only way, like I was saying, like eventually after this election, because I know a lot of people want to vote for Trump, so you want to stay in the Republican Party. But I really feel like we need to start a movement. We need to start a huge movement, the Purple Revolution, I'm calling it, to where we all leave these parties. We get out of the Democratic Party, we get out of the Republican Party, and we support a third-party candidate, somebody that is not bought and paid for, somebody that is not an establishment hack, somebody that they're in it for the right reasons. And I know maybe a lot of people didn't agree with Ron Paul, didn't like Ron Paul, but Ron Paul is the perfect example. He didn't want the power of the presidency, so he was the perfect person for the power of the presidency. Because what we have now are people that want the power. They want that feeling of just that power. That they're power hungry. They're greedy. And you pretty much buy a presidency at this point. It's pretty much how you get in the presidency. You purchase it. And so we need somebody that's not going to be purchasable. Like Ron Paul did not take any lobby money. They called him Dr. No. If a lobbyist went in his office and tried to give him money to push a certain bill, he told him to get out of my office. Dr. No, he would not do it. He wanted single page bills, to where you introduce a bill, it's one page. It's not this, 10,000 page bill that they have to read within 24 hours. That's a bunch of bullshit. So our government has zero transparency. We don't know anything that's going on. They're spending our money hand over fist in places that we have no idea. They refuse to audit the Federal Reserve, so we don't even know where that money's going. And I'm sure that if we did audit the Fed, we'd probably get a bunch of redacted books so that they couldn't see certain places that it went, because they're not going to be transparent. So the only way we can fix this is to get the people out of power that are in there now. There are a few. There's Justin Amash. There's oh man, now I'm forgetting his freaking name. Thomas Massie. Rand Paul, it kind of teeters on that edge, because he does tend to kind of agree with the foreign policy a little bit. Like, he's not a warmonger necessarily, but he does talk about things like that, and kind of agree with what we do overseas in a way. So he loses me on that stuff. But as far as fiscal stuff, I'm right on board with him. So that's why I put him in that category of, I would accept a Rand Paul. We would just have to work on his foreign policy, because no candidate's going to be perfect. No person in there is going to be perfect. But they have to be in there for the right reasons. And the only reason most of them are in there now is because they know that it is a road to financial freedom. It's a road for them to be taken care of the rest of their life. It's a way for them to game the system and tell us they're going to be doing stuff for us, and then the whole time they're only doing stuff for themselves and padding their own pockets. AOC has become a millionaire in there, and that's like, she's like the poster child for the Democratic Party, but she's become a millionaire while in office. How does that happen on a $175,000 a year salary? It doesn't. I should know. I don't have that kind of salary, but I know that I wouldn't become a millionaire on that salary unless I had some kind of inside information and had a way to take advantage of the system. And that's what they all do. So we have to get away from that, because it's destroying. It has us, the population, at each other's throats. We are at each other's throats constantly. We can't get along with the left. We can't get along with the far right. We can't get along with each other sometimes when it comes to some of these things, like talking about a specific conspiracy theory. I'm calling it that. I know that that's not a good term, but that's what I'm going to call it. And other people that believe the same thing will fight over the semantics of that thing. Well, but they didn't do that. Well, yeah, they did. I show this and this and this. No, they didn't do that. And it's like, you agree that something is wrong. You agree that your government lied to you. That should be it. Why do we have to get into the semantics and the details and fight each other? But that is perfect for the government, because while we're out here fighting over these individual issues, over these mundane things, and I don't want to say mundane because that's not true. They aren't mundane. They are serious things. But while we're out here fighting over semantics and battling each other, even within our own people that believe what we do, they're passing legislation. They're sending our money over to Ukraine. They're sending our money to Israel. They're sending our money all over the world, blowing it on stupid shit, while we sit here and just continually hand it to them at tax season. And then what we do after we give them our money, we go right back to fighting each other and not trying to realize that we have a common enemy. We have a common enemy in our government, and we should be uniting to fight against that. Because if we would unite as a people, you look at something like a country like Scotland or something, when they mess with something like with the farmers or mess with education, they'll go drive tractors and spray manure on the government buildings. Like, they do not mess around over there. They don't mess around in a lot of other countries. But here we're just like, I'll just like put some posts online. I'll go in and argue with people who are making YouTube videos and tell them they're wrong. Basically just be a keyboard warrior. But that doesn't do anything. That just keeps us fighting and fighting and fighting. And I know I'm making a YouTube video right now, but my whole goal with this YouTube channel, and I hope that you're sharing these out. I hope you're telling other people. I hope you're inviting them to this community, because my goal with this channel is to figure out how we can change that, to have the conversation of how can we fix this? What can you and I do to unite around a common goal and get rid of all these individual issues? Stop worrying about religion, stop worrying about abortion, stop worrying about guns, stop worrying about gender stuff, even though I know it's important. I know it's hugely important. But it's like there's a bigger fish to fry right now. It's like we're focusing on the branches of a tree, and we're all just ignoring the roots that are growing deeper and deeper and deeper. It's like we're out here hurrying up and pruning the hedges. We're pruning the leaves, and we're trying to make it look better, trying to make it, maybe grow faster, but we're ignoring the most important part, the roots. Because if we would cut the roots off, the tree would fall. But we're trying to take it in other ways, and it just doesn't work. And so a united people will actually be able to make change. And that's what I want to do. And I know this is just a YouTube channel, and I know we're just, 130,000 strong right now on this channel, but together we can grow this, and together we can make a movement out of it. And I think it's important to do that right now. I really do. So like I said, getting through this election so that, we can try to get at least Biden out of there so it doesn't happen as fast as it would now. And we think that Trump's going to be the person to save it. I personally don't believe that. I am going to vote for him as a protest vote because I want to overwhelm the system. But I really, honestly, at the end of the day, don't believe Trump has our best interest at heart either. I really don't. And I know that's going to upset some people, but that's just how I personally feel. I feel like we're depending on these people who have no connection with us whatsoever. At the end of the day, they don't care about us because their life is completely different. They're billionaires, millionaires. Like, they don't have to worry day to day. They don't care what the gas prices are. They don't care if it's $10 a gallon. Just like I argue, Walmart would absolutely love a federal $15 minimum wage. Target All of these big corporations, Walmart, they would absolutely love a $15 minimum wage, because what that'll do is that'll kill all their competition. All the little guys, gone. Little tiny companies, gone. Because these people have no idea what it's like to be us. And we continually let them walk all over us. And you say, no, we don't let them. We're trying to fight them. No, we let them. We are complicit with what they do with our money because we give it to them. If you pay your taxes and they send it over to Ukraine, that's on you. You were complicit. If that money is used to bomb Syria, to bomb Afghanistan, to bomb Iraq, to bomb Libya, to bomb all the places we're bombing, you are complicit because you gave them your money. And we continually do that. So, this revolution would have to be several-fold. There'd have to be many different things that happened, like not paying your taxes, like leaving these parties and showing them that we're not going to be part of it anymore, so that if they started to see a huge exodus from their parties, they'd be like, oh my gosh, nobody's registering Republican or Democrat anymore. What do we do? Yeah, you're losing power. Because right now, the Republican and Democratic parties are private parties. They don't have to answer to us. They can change the rules to make them whatever they want to get their candidate in. If that's not election interference, I don't know what is. I mean, it is legit, like literally election interference. Because like I said during 2012, they were able to make it so Ron Paul wasn't nominated to the floor. They changed the rule on the spot. They lied and said that the rule was adopted by the yays when the nays were louder. I was there. And they changed the rule and put Romney in Ron Paul's place. Just willy-nilly, whatever they want. Because it's a private party and they don't answer to the federal government. They do not. It's private. The debates are private. So the debate people can do whatever they want. The debate commission, they can do whatever they want. They don't want RFK Jr. on the stage. Guess what? RFK Jr. will not be on that stage. And that's not fair to us, but we just let it happen because we partake in the system. And so by partaking, they think, oh, they must be cool with this because they're lining up, they're registering to vote, they're voting for our person. They love the lesser of two evil argument because what it does is it has people out there arguing, hey, if don't not vote, because if you don't vote, that's a vote for the other guy. You have both sides saying that. If you don't vote, that's a vote for Trump. If you don't vote, that's a vote for Biden. They have sold you this narrative that a third party absolutely cannot win. But we are the people. We are the electorate. We are the people that decide these elections. We vote. Now, the system is a complete sham right now, but that's why I'm saying we have to leave the parties. Because if we don't register Republican, you're not going to vote Republican down the ballot. That's going to hurt them, and they're going to know it. So I don't see any other way. So the only three things that I think would actually get their attention and make them realize that we are the power, not them. Because right now, the government is supposed to fear the people, but right now the people fear the government. I mean, and not fear as in like please don't hurt me, that kind of thing. But we just give them whatever they want, and we play right along into their system. We just keep going and saying vote, 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 and it doesn't freaking matter. So you have to get money out of politics. That's one. So that you can't have these people that can buy a presidency. You don't have super PACs. You don't have lobbyists. You don't have any money trail in politics to where they can enrich themselves, where they can purchase an election, and where they can get unlimited funding from corporations to pass bills and legislation and stuff. No lobbyists. Then we have to get rid of the two-party system. We have to. The two-party system is not a free and fair election. We have some of the most insecure and rigged elections in the world because we've let two parties take it over. And then third, we need to stop giving them our money. There's a movie, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's really good. It's called Stranger Than Fiction. It's a Will Ferrell movie. And it has Maggie Gyllenhaal is the other person. And it's about a woman who gets audited by the IRS because she refused to pay the percentage of her taxes that went to war. She's like, I paid my taxes, but I kept back a percentage because I don't support your wars. And that's the kind of thing we need to do. Because I understand that some of the tax money is slightly necessary for some things, You could argue against that, really. Like, I don't think there should be income tax. I don't think we should be taxed on that, because they make taxes in so many other ways. But like, there are other things about that. Like a flat tax would be cool, like 10% flat tax or 5% flat tax or something like that. Like, I could get on board with something like that, because I understand, like, Medicaid and Medicare and all that needs the money coming from somewhere. So taking, like, what could we keep that full with, and what percentage would that be, and then pay that, right? But not income tax and not all these taxes. Everybody's like, don't move to Denmark because they're taxed like 75%. Well, if you take like medical bills and everything we're taxed when we spend money, get money, all this other stuff, it's about the same. But it's worse because we don't have health care and we don't have the benefits that they have over there for that 75%. It's like we still pay the same amount, but we don't get shit for it. We don't even get transparency. Like if you try to ask a senator a question and it's a hardball question, they just walk away and ignore you. And then people are like, look at this asshole trying to, dig at this and ask these stupid questions about the election being rigged in 2020. Like, listen to them. They're so stupid. And they just paint you in this negative light. But you know who the only people who can change that is? Us. We are the only ones. There's no one else who can do it. And the thing is, we're not going to be able to do it in the system they have built. They have built a system that benefits only them. It benefits us like absolutely zilch. We benefit from this system. We do not benefit from this system at all. Not 1 ounce. So, I mean, there are some people that do get like their Medicare benefits and stuff like that, Social Security. But like my grandfather was in 2 wars, Korea and World War II, and he couldn't even live on what he made from his Social Security or whatever it was he was getting. Couldn't even live. Like, couldn't even afford his medication. So he died because he couldn't get medication and the VA wouldn't help him. And that's a person who was in 2 wars. So you think us who are just peon citizens have a chance? No. So we got to fix this. And I want to spearhead a movement that could do it. I really think we could do that by inviting people here, sharing these vlogs with people, starting conversations, and helping people understand that the government is not here for them. Like what was it, Reagan that said, I'm from the government and I'm here to help? Like, no, they're not. I'm from the government and I'm here to steal your money and put it in places that I will never tell you, because they'll never audit the Fed. They'll never have a money trail. One of those sections of the Pentagon that got taken out on that day that we all know of was where they were hiding where they had the information of the lost $1 trillion that Rumsfeld had lost or whatever. I don't remember if he had lost, like he was responsible or if he was just talking about or whatever. But that part is the part that got hit, and all that information is just gone. And there was also a lot of stuff in the Hoover building, Building 7. And we know what happened to that building. And that held a lot of documentation on financial information. And the Twin Towers themselves were financial buildings. There were a lot of financial companies in there. So who knows what all was lost there. But that's what they wanted. So what are you going to do? What do you think is the solution? I want you to say it in the comments. Do you agree that it would be getting money out of politics, not paying all of our taxes, and getting out of our political parties and starting a new one that had mass support? Do you agree that would help? Or what's your solution? I'd be curious to know. But thank you guys so much for watching Vlog 29. We're almost there. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to become a member and support this channel, I really appreciate it. I'm enjoying the conversations, and I do want to go down rabbit holes. I have some ideas for specific like little series that I want to do on here. So they won't be like all vlog like this. I want to do where we all watch a live stream together, like watch a documentary on certain conspiracy theories and just kind of like see if we can tear it apart together. I want to do those as members only though, like not to view, but to chat. So if you want to be part of those, become a member. You can become a member as low as $2.99 a month. And look, I understand a lot of people don't even have $2.99 a month right now. Totally get that. I am personally going to be gifting subs every month. as this channel grows, the amount of them that I give away will increase. So this week I gave away 70 memberships. So I plan to give away a lot. No, I'm sorry, 30. I gave away 30 memberships. So I plan to do that every month, and as the more this channel makes, the more I will give away, so that people that aren't able to afford it can at least experience it for a month. And so it really helps with the people who can afford it to do it, to help the people who can't, if that makes sense. All right. Thank you guys so much. And I will see you tomorrow for vlog number 30. Peace.